Welcome to the Collaborative. I'm your host, Sydney Walker, along with Ryan Ballas. Today we are joined by Kerry Lofton. Kerry is an award-winning video producer and filmmaker, originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. He currently serves as a content creator for the Dallas Cowboys, while also running his own production company called Inspired Dreams. So thank you for being here today.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm super excited.
First up, we have Sid's This or That. So first, sneakers or slides?
Oh, definitely sneakers. Can't have my toes out.
I'm a slides person. Car or truck?
I can't knock it. Probably truck. I'm in Texas. I gotta say truck.
Good choice. Cookies or cake?
Ooh, if it's the soft cookies, I gotta go with cookies.
And lastly, I saw you're really into fitness, so weights or cardio?
Oh, weights. I hate cardio. I absolutely hate cardio.
Good choice.
Yeah, definitely weights all the way for sure. So Kerry, could you start off by telling us kind of your first memory of your involvement with sports?
Sports, I'm actually pretty new to that world. I've been doing video production since about 2011. I got my start doing music videos and like just kind of behind the scenes for some of my friends who were in the music industry. And that's kind of been my path. I was doing a ton of that, and sports really kind of came on my radar back in 2018. I've always been a huge football fan, but I never thought about actually working in sports. I would see the content and love it, but as a fan, but it wasn't something that I had that I thought would be on my plate until I just started looking for new jobs and new opportunity. I was doing video production for a church, and wanted to do something different, and a job with the Cowboys opened up, and I said, hey, let me apply. Like, what's funny is that I was actually an Eagles fan, so it was interesting to me because I was just like, I didn't really care for the Cowboys and that. So I applied, they called me, and, next thing you know, a couple months later, I was working for the Cowboys, and I was just fully submerged into the world of sports. So it's been an interesting path, definitely not a conventional one, but I'm happy I ended up here.
You mentioned your role prior to this one. You served as a video editor for a church. What was your biggest takeaway from that experience?
That was an interesting experience because that was kind of, I always tell, I never went to film school, but I always kind of treat that like my film school, because beforehand I had all my experiences were raw. I would learn what I could learn from YouTube or from picking people's brains or, jumping on random sets. But that was kind of where I was able to go in and spend time in for lack of a better words, a corporate environment, and kind of hone some of my skills and learn some of the right ways to do things. And then I've been able to kind of take that and apply that, still have that rawness, because that's kind of what I feel like defines my work is I love breaking the rules. I love doing things different. But it is nice to kind of have that technical training as well. So that was the biggest thing, is just being able to, shoot on high budget cameras and high budget productions and have access to all of these big budget shoots. It taught me a lot that I was able to kind of take and merge with what I had learned on my own and kind of define my voice as a creator.
Right. I know you're more self-taught. So how much of your time was actually spent on YouTube as opposed to getting that hands-on experience through your first job?
It was all probably like, see, for me, YouTube was a little bit more like a quick tip type of thing, but like YouTube is great if you want to go and watch a tutorial and learn how a camera works or learn a new editing technique, but it can't get you all the way there. The best experiences I've had have been from being able to pick up the phone or being on set with somebody and say, how did you do that? Or why did you do that? Or them saying, this is how you want to do it, or this is how you want to approach it. So I definitely think when you're learning, each one has their sort of place in your toolbox. But I definitely, that just personal one-on-one interaction with people, you just can't beat that.
Right. Thank you.
So you had mentioned that you had found your Cowboys job on Indeed. Can you describe what you were feeling when you started going through that hiring process?
Yeah. So kind of, I think by me just like being an Eagles fan, I just really kind of didn't care. Like it was just like, oh, like I knew I had been looking for, new opportunities for a while, and I was just very particular about what I would apply for. Like when I get off from work, I go and I search Indeed for 30 minutes, and I may see 20 jobs, but I would only apply to 2 or 3 of them because I really wanted the right fit. So for me, kind of like I wasn't like a giant Cowboys fan. It was like, oh my God, this is my dream job. It was just like, oh, this is cool. I think I'll do it. Once I kind of got into it and I did the interview, which it was a long interview process. I mean, it took like 2 months from the time they first contacted me to the time I was actually hired. Like that was where I kind of started to be like, damn, I really want this. Like, I hope they call me. I hope we can work this out. I hope we can make it happen because, obviously going seeing the facilities and you start to kind of think about it, it was, and you see all the kind of job responsibilities and things you'll be doing. That was kind of where I was like, all right, well, I really want this job. But I think just approaching it, I just kind of had that carefree, like, whatever happens, happens, and the right opportunity for me, if it's for me, I'm a big believer in if it's for me, then there's nothing on this earth that can stop me from attaining it. And if it's not, then, I just always pray for the clarity to understand that and the patience to wait for my next opportunity.
So the Cowboys are considered America's team since there's so much history within that organization, and your videos are already top notch. But when you sit down and piece all of your work together, is there an extra layer of pressure to produce high quality videos?
There's definitely a level of pressure, I just, it's a platform that I don't have on my own. So there's always that just kind of individual voice in the back of my mind of like, millions of people will see this when we hit push, you know what I mean? Like millions of people will, uh, comment on this. They'll, give their 2 cents on it. And the hard part about that is that it's usually not people that have any sort of technical expertise or any of my peers. It's usually people who are like, this video sucks because I want to fire the coach, or this video sucks because I don't like the quarterback. So that was something that I struggled with approaching edits and projects, and it started to give me a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of depression because I started to kind of find my worth in those numbers of like, it's got to go viral. It's got to do this. It's got to do that. Because that's the hard thing about it is like you have all those followers, but nobody's numbers reflect how many followers. We have 3 million followers on Instagram, but we're not getting 3 million views on your videos. We're lucky. Great for us is anything over 200,000. So it's definitely hard to have that platform and to think about that. But I've gotten a lot better about just focusing on me and focusing on my approach to the process and being happy with how I felt about it. So if I walk away from a project feeling confident, then it doesn't matter if it gets, 10 million views or 10 views, or if it gets hate in the comments or if people love it. I'm happy with what I've done, and I know that I kind of left it all out on the field, so to speak.
That's a great answer. And we've also had some other video producers who said they struggled early on with getting lost in the numbers. So that's just a great approach to it.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned that early in your career, you learned to shoot through YouTube and ended up having some self-produced music videos appear on BET and MTV, which is a huge accomplishment. How did you market yourself to those artists in order to enhance your resume?
Well, it just kind of all a little bit fell into my lap, it was one of those things where it was just like, knowing the right people, which is huge in this business. Connection is everything, no matter whether you're doing sports or music or whatever. Just it's all about who you know. And I just, I used to do music when I was in high school. And so I had kind of built some of these connections, and New Orleans is a really, really small place. So if you know somebody, odds are they know somebody that knows somebody, and it's really not hard to kind of move your way, especially if you're hungry and you want to put that work in. And that was just kind of always my mentality of like, I want to work. I'll work for free. It don't matter. You don't have to pay me. Like that was just my mindset. So just in that, just having some friends who were mutual friends of some people, and ended up getting the guy whose video played on BET, his sister had gotten an exec position at BET. And so she was kind of pushing him. BET used to do this thing called Music Matters, where they would like kind of find these like underground artists and give them like, they kind of like, it's kind of almost like the double XL rookie class where they would like put him on a showcase and all of that stuff. So he had kind of started to get the ear of some people and some record labels. So we were able to get the video on 106 in Park before 106 in Park died, and then MTV Jam. So it was just a kind of being in the right place at the right time and kind of putting the work in with people and grinding and, all of that. But it was definitely a blessing and something that I'm proud to say happened.
I grew up on 106 in Park, so I know exactly those days.
Yeah. That's for the culture right there.
So, Kerry, going off of that, you run your own production company now, Inspired Dreams. What challenges come along with managing that while you continue to try and make content for the Cowboys?
Timing, really. That's really just the biggest thing as my client list just continues to grow, which includes, players, both players who used to play and are now retired, and players that are still playing, and then, just everybody else in between. It's really just the timing, and you're just kind of in that weird spot because you don't want to make that jump just yet to doing it full time, because of course the phone is ringing off the hook and you're having to turn down projects left and right. But the minute you go in and say, you know what, here's my 2 weeks, I want to do this thing full time, that's when everybody stops calling and everybody stops paying the invoices. So really it's just juggling that time of, what I can dedicate to, the Cowboys, which is, still my first priority, but then also knowing that I want to build something for the future and knowing that I want to, those are my long-term goals. So just trying to find that balance, and then also finding time for me to create things that I want to create, because I've come to realize that neither the Cowboys nor my clients from my production company are going to give me the outlet that I want. I'm not going to get to create the stuff that I want to create. I'm creating the stuff that people are paying me to create, which if anybody's been paid for their work, they know the two don't align with each other. So finding also that time to go out and shoot passion projects and do the stuff that's going to kind of keep me sharp creatively.
So has there been a favorite video that you've shot so far, or a favorite project you've created, maybe like a favorite piece of content that you put out? I know it's a tough question, but I know some people usually have like that one project,
For me, and took me a while to get to this point, it's probably the ASMR video that we put out with the Mari Cooper for our scheduled release. It was one of those things where we just took a huge risk and it got a lot of hate online, but for me, it was a proud moment because it was something that I did that, again, like I said, my MO was breaking the rules. So it was something that I liked. I thought it was funny. And just being able to stand confidently on that was enough for me. So that's probably my top favorite project because of what it meant to me personally, and how it meant like we were breaking down walls.
Definitely, I feel you on that one. I think with a lot of the designers and content creators that we've had the pleasure of interviewing, it's more so a project that they had a lot of fun with rather than one that broke a bunch of records for their program or their organization, So that's really awesome to hear, just one that, truly had fun with doing and broke some rules with. That's awesome.
I know you have a lot of relationships, but is there one key person in your career right now that you're constantly in communication with? Or just someone that's kind of helped you pave the way?
It's probably two people. So a good buddy of mine's name's Aiden Franklin. He owns a production company here in Fort Worth. Super talented guy. I'm always leaning on him for information and advice and looking at what he's doing, and he inspires me. And then a guy who's a little bit of a distant mentor, but definitely still just a few things that he invested in me early on, a guy by the name of Nesby Phipps from New Orleans, he does music as well, but he kind of took me under the wing and showed me how to shoot, what to shoot, how to have an eye, how to look for certain things, how to see them different. Like, I'm always, whenever I'm on a shoot, I can confidently say, like, I'm always hearing his voice in the back of my mind saying, shoot this, do it like this, see it like this. So, we don't talk as much. Back when I was in New Orleans and kind of just starting, we were running around doing tons of things. And now we don't get to do as much. And we haven't had much contact, but definitely the stuff that he's told me left a lasting impact, because he was kind of on the beginning stages of viral videos back when like music videos really start to do different. There was a company up in New York called Creative Control, so he was up there shooting a ton of stuff with them and kind of really on the forefront of like some of the stuff that we're seeing now, some of these trends and the way things are being done now. So I was very fortunate for him to kind of be taking what he was learning and then in turn pour that into me. So I'm forever grateful for him for all the stuff that he's taught me.
That's really awesome to hear. And lastly, what advice do you have for those who are looking to take their video creations to the next level?
Always be learning, always be shooting. Like that is, it's not about like I said in the beginning, it's not about the job title you hold, it's not about the equipment that you have, it's not about the opportunities that you have. Everybody can walk outside their door, and or even right now, man, I've seen some people create some stuff just at home in quarantine that's like blown me away. Everybody can do it. Like if you're waiting on the right opportunity, if you're waiting on for a big company to call or somebody to drop a big budget in your lap, you're never gonna do it. You're not gonna take advantage of that. You have to use what you have right now to just constantly be learning, constantly be growing, constantly be shaping yourself and just finding your own voice. There's a lot of trends out there right now. A lot of people are kind of just recycling some of the same things. I encourage people always to break outside the box. Like I pull inspiration from everywhere. I hardly look at what other sports teams do, because I'm inevitably going to start to recreate that. I draw my inspiration from music videos, from fashion shoots, from short films, from foreign films, from anything that I can see and like, oh, that's cool how they shot that. Maybe I'll try that. That's cool how they did that. Maybe I'll do that. Like that's the biggest thing, is like not confining yourself to any one box, because that's the world that you want to live in, but like truly letting your creativity run wild.
That's such an amazing response. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Yeah, I definitely am going to take that into all of my creative endeavors with me from now on, Kerry. So thank you for that one.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate your unique approach to the industry and all the honesty you shared with us today.
Thank y'all for having me. I really appreciate it. Y'all were great.
It was an absolute pleasure having you, Kerry. I'm definitely excited to see all the new content you pump out.
Thank you so much.